What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for another video. So if you guys aren't subscribed already, feel free to click the link down below and you guys could always stay connected. We have a free networking group. We're a little bit over 60,000 members and we would love to be a part of your success. But let's go ahead and get right to it. So like many of you guys have probably heard, if you guys simply Google it, you guys are going to come across, I think it's one of like the biggest news at the moment. And it talks about the 2017 tax reform and it being passed, right? So what does that mean to you, and what is the 2017 tax reform? I'm gonna start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I looked into. I've tried to get a little bit of a better understanding because now that we're closing out the year, I want to make sure that I have an understanding of what to expect with taxes. Let me go ahead and explain the purpose of what I understand on what this tax reform, on why President Trump and the Republicans were kind of like not forcing it, but why they wanted this bill to pass so aggressively. So based on my understanding, the 2017 tax reform is to allow the United States to be more competitive with global markets. They believe that when it comes down to corporate taxes, the corporations within the United States are one of the highest amongst other countries. So with that being said, a tax break for the corporations within the United States will allow us to be a little bit more competitive. Instead of paying money for taxes, the idea is that they can reinvest it, hire more people, build more infrastructures and stuff like that. So there's a lot more that comes into it when it comes down to the big picture was, based on my understanding, they wanted to pass the tax reform to be more competitive with global markets for our corporations, which makes sense, right? Understanding President Trump's background and stuff like that, which then will instill these businesses, because they don't have to pay so much in taxes, to hire more people and provide more quality services and products and stuff like that. So that's the idea based on my understanding. I'm going to start sharing my screen and go ahead and so there's already some of you guys, so we have Joe saying that that's a lie. I can't put it into perspective based on my understanding. That was the idea of it. Like many of you guys know, when it comes down to, or I'm sure so many of you guys have heard of this, that although corporate taxes are so high, they always say President Trump doesn't pay anything in taxes. There was those huge I think there were a total of 25 of them. I wish I could, if anything, by the time that this video isn't live right now, but it is actually published, there should be a link down below, and I'll publish it. The top 25 multi-billion or multi-million dollar companies that didn't pay anything in taxes. Again, I'm not here to say what's wrong or what's not. I'm just saying that although they are, there's so many loopholes. That's the thing. And just to put it into perspective, these loopholes are not very difficult. This year has been one of my most profitable years with both my businesses and the different ventures that I have. And I will be completely transparent. One of the first things that one of the tax specialists will pretty much advise is the series of loopholes that someone can take, and they're completely legal, to incentivize, to act as an incentive for individuals. And just to give you an example, if you formulate an LLC, based on my understanding, the CPA, instead of you having, ask your CPA. So if you make over $500,000 a year, and you don't want to pay the previous tax bracket, what this tax reform does is, instead of the 7 tax brackets that were previously in place, now there's 3. So the whole idea is to make it so much more simple. The thing that I don't understand, and this is my opinion, the thing that I don't understand about the 7 tax brackets and now there being 3, and why that's so much more simple, a lot of people don't even do their own taxes. We have our CPAs, and that's why they're in place, right? So I don't really see that. I see that how that can be a pitch, right? That's a very good, I think, marketing pitch for hey, we're gonna make taxes so much more simple. Instead of 7, we're gonna make it 3, giving you less options and making them more aggressive. So instead of the previous, let me actually just start sharing my screen, and you guys are going to be able to see everything that I've read. So again, I don't want you guys to get offended. I just want to expose you guys to the understanding of what most likely is taking place, and for you guys to let me know what you guys think. I really want to make sure, again, we're a networking group, right? So I want you guys to know everything that is going on, both with your profits as well as the taxes that you are going to have to pay. It's very unfortunate based on the lower tax bracket and based off what I've read and what I've heard. I'll get into that in just a bit, but I'm just going to show you the article. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Mozart said there's technically 4 tax brackets. Yes, and I'll explain that in just a bit. So thank you for bringing that. Thank you for bringing that up. So there's 3. Let's see. So this was the previous tax bracket, right? The new tax bracket is this. These are the main 3, and then the 39.6 are for corporations. That's the whole idea, right? The 39.6. Based on articles that I've read and based on just being involved in the stock market and how people report and what it is that they report for taxes and all that, very few corporations even pay, when they say that they pay less than Americans, right? How do multi-billion and multi-million-dollar companies pay less taxes than the average American? There's these series of loopholes that, and I'm not a tax specialist. You have to look into it, and this is why I encourage you guys it's one phone call. You can reach out to H&R Block, all those different agencies that are tax specialists and ask them, and they're there. I mean, they're there to assist you and to prepare for tax season. So I want to make sure that you guys are protected. But this is pretty much how it used to break down. They made it more simple according to them. The 12, 25, and 35%. It's supposed to act as an incentive for what's it called? Supposedly more of the rich, but I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the previous tax bracket that the people that are now in the 12% were previously in 10%, and yeah, that's you guys can do the comparison. So I'm going to provide this link down in the description, or you guys can search up money.cnn.com / 2017 tax reform and stuff like that, and then you guys can read this whole article. I've been reading about this all morning. And as soon as I noticed that the bill was passed, I just wanted to have a better understanding. I'm someone that, the thing is, like, guys, if we want to have an edge on the rest of the market, right, if we want to understand like how to not only make the most profits, right, with our investments, with our businesses, and stuff like that, then we also have to understand, like, when it comes down to tax season, your net profits, you are going to have to pay taxes on that. And if you can prepare for it in advance, then I feel like you would have at least more time to have an understanding of, okay, well, I need to put this much money away, and then I can use the rest to actually reinvest. So, okay, and there's no question that there's a lot of people that have a negative connotation with, oh, like, they always say that. I always hear that, and I think it's just something that is very easily understood with people, that multi-million and multi-billion-dollar companies barely pay anything in taxes, and this tax reform is actually supposed to act as an incentive, not just those in the 1% percentile, but those that are extremely wealthy, in the 0.001%. Families like President Trump and all those multi-billion-dollar or like just families and names, right? That we all know. I want to. The thing that I dislike most about this, and I'm just sharing my opinion. The thing that I dislike most about this tax reform is they're going to increase the taxes on universities by 1.2%. And there's the thing that I don't like about that is because then us as students, right? I go to ASU Polytechnic. That means that if the government takes money, makes them pay more money, then to continue to progress, these universities and these colleges that that are funded, if they're public institutions, they're funded by taxes and or by taxpayers. So with that being said, if taxpayers are now paying less, right? Taxpayers are paying less. So if the wealthier have to pay less, I believe it went from the 39.6%, it goes down to 25%. So if the taxpayers are paying less, the wealthy are paying less, and the people that make less pay a little bit more, but it doesn't balance out because there's such a huge gap of just I can't put into words on, like, I don't think it's necessarily frustrating. I just think it's I was watching a video, and I think the easiest way that they can put it is that it's corrupt. The reason that I say that is there was also an interview that I was watching of these huge, one of the biggest donors for the Republican campaigns, right? So there's these huge corporations that fund these Republican campaigns as they're getting elected and stuff like that, and invest millions, if not near to billions of dollars, right? And the reason that they do that is so they can get these, like, senators and stuff like that, that they want into place that can pass certain bills, such as the tax reform, that can act as an incentive for their companies, for their corporations, and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of articles, if you guys search it up, a bunch of corporations saying that, if this tax reform bill is not passed, they are going to pull back all their investments that they've, that they invest in their campaigns and all that. So I just feel like that's, I don't know. I think that's, I can't put into words. I think the easiest way, it's all these loopholes supposedly are legal, and with that being said, I think it's just very discouraging for a lot of people to understand that, like, the country that we live in, there's these huge corporations that act as monopolies and not only control majority of the market, but also they have a huge influence in what is passed. And it's very unfortunate that people like President Trump that talk about how it is that they're going to benefit the lower class and stuff like that, and then they talk about okay, well, now we're going to increase like the healthcare, and that wasn't something that was previously spoken about, and then now they're talking about increasing the taxes for those that are in the lower percentile. So it just puts it into perspective on how, in a sense, corrupt a government can be, and it's legal. It's legalized corruption, because these big corporations are what fund these campaigns, and it makes sense, right? Because they want a return in their investment. So if they invest millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, they're going to want something back, and they want people in place that will be able to make that happen. And if they don't make that happen, then they can cut them out and get someone else that does. And I guess the power, money is power, and there's no question about that. I just want to make sure that every single one of you that's watching this, I have a decent following when it comes down to people looking at different ways on how to make money. I just want you guys to understand and take it into consideration on to protect yourself, to make sure that you are aware and have a leg up in comparison to the majority of the market, or majority of the people within the United States, because it can really hurt. It could really, it could really affect someone in what it is that, they make per year and what it is that they have to pay in taxes. It could be very discouraging. So I just want to make sure that you guys are prepared. And before getting into these businesses, speak to a CPA. I think one of the biggest areas of opportunity when I first started out was speaking to, my CPA and them giving me tips and tricks on, how I can make sure that I maximize and keep the most money that I can, but at a healthy pace. I'm someone that's willing to pay taxes to a certain point because of because I get to qualify for more in the future, and that's how I think about it. Everything it is that I do, you guys know I'm super conservative, and I always try to prepare for the future. A huge area of opportunity for myself is I have 4 properties right now, and the only way that I'm going to continue to be able to qualify for more is if I can report, what it is that I'm making. And there's a lot of people that say, no, keep the money, you can do more with that. I like to keep it very simple. I like to be conservative with my taxes, but I also want to make sure that I'm reporting enough that if I want to buy, $1 million house, for whatever the case may be, or a $2 million house and buy a series of properties, that I have the income to at least support that. And that's my investment. And yes, I do have to put in a little bit of money or pay a little bit more in taxes because I'm not writing off as much as everyone else. But, with that being said, it's an investment that I'm taking within myself long term, and it makes sense to me. I just want everything it is that you guys do, not only when making money, but when it comes down to paying taxes. I'm not a tax specialist, so you need to reach out to a CPA, and it's one phone call. So if you guys have, one thing to do today, if you guys have 10, 15 minutes, you guys can call whatever CPA it is that you guys trust, and I hope that you guys can have a leg up and a better understanding on how to save money within taxes, or at least to prepare for taxes. Because I think if you're smarter than the average person, I think within the United States, you'll be just fine, because there's certain ways around certain things, and there's a series of loopholes that I think even the lower class people can take advantage of. But unfortunately, not everyone is exposed to that. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that they are out there, and that you guys, just try your best to understand what is going on, and I hope that it can guide in the right direction. So that is pretty much, yeah, all it is that I wanted to cover. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that that bill did end up passing. And yeah, so thank you guys all for the support. So Justin, you're asking if you can still sign up for the mentorship. So it's the first link in the description if you haven't signed up already. And feel free to do so. Mentorship starts December 18th. So the mentorship is closed, but Justin, if you, my link is down below. If you message me through Instagram, I'll go ahead and respond to you, and I'll provide you with a private link if you want to still be a part of the mentorship for the December session. Okay, and let's talk about that. So you like the American flag? Yeah, I like it too. The impact that I think that this will have in the stock market, again, this is my opinion, it is nothing that's set in stone, is if you guys saw within the past couple of days leading up to this tax bill, there's a series of companies, especially a lot of technology companies, that were not acting normal, right? That they were kind of flatlining and stuff like that, and I feel like a lot of it had to do, you know, these huge corporations that were investing. This is the easiest way that I can put it. These huge corporations were almost like hoping that this tax bill, you know, passes because it acts as an incentive. They have to pay less in taxes, which is more revenue and more profit for them. That's good for them, which means us as investors, because we're investing in the stock market and these companies, your job is to find these companies that were most likely, you know, pulled back because of this potential, like, you know, delay on the passing of the, you know, tax reform. And if they do end up passing like it did, then this can act as a catalyst for these series of companies, because they can so I mean, it can act as a catalyst for these companies and their overall revenue. So that's just something to take into consideration. Guys, we're thinking as companies now, not as people. I just wanted to talk to you guys as an individual on how I want you guys to be exposed to you know, what the 2017 tax reform is and how it can act as an incentive or really not, right? So make sure you deal with that. And then when it comes down to, this is what I get super excited about, because we're aware of this and because we're investing in companies, I want to make sure that you understand that these companies, these multi-million and multi-billion-dollar companies, are going to benefit from this tax reform. With that being said, that's more revenue for them, which is great as an investor. That's a way that we can make up, I guess, for the taxes if you fall within the certain tax brackets. But yeah, that's really just it. So your shirt is showing sign of an uptrend. What's up, Brandon? Yeah. So LOL, I just saw your comment. You can click on the first link down below. So the first link down below will take you over to my mentorship, and that will show you exactly what it is on how to stay connected, and you don't have to have any social media platform or anything like that. So yep, that's really just it. So I know I didn't go into detail. I'm going to plug the link down below. Again, I'm not a tax specialist, so I know a lot of people won't even take, you know, what it is that I say very serious. I really just wanted to make a video. I have, you know, we're 76,000 subscribers and we have over 60,000 members within my group. I just wanted to make a video talking about this topic to expose you guys. Like, make this be a to-do list. Like, if you guys take anything from this video, make this task of learning what the 2017 tax reform and the impact that it has on you to be a to-do list. If you're within the United States and if you're going to report taxes, then you need to know, like, I just don't know, you know, the more you know, the better that you'll do. And I hope that this exposure can guide you in the right direction. Reach out to a CPA. They will explain to you how you can benefit or how you can prepare for the 2017 or 2018 tax season. So thank you guys again for everything that is that you guys do. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives in your success. A lot of you guys are asking me to break down stocks right now, or asking me for some opinions on some of the tickers that you guys are calling out. I'm not going to do that right now. I wasn't even going to upload this video. I'm still going to upload my video, I think, at like 2 or 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that video will have to do with stock breakdowns. So we'll do it from that point forward. All the links are down below if you guys want to, again, be a part of our free networking group. It's all a free community. I pretty much just provide exposures and different group leaders, such as Brad. They're all featured within my YouTube channel. So I can't give them enough. You know, we do this all for free, I can't thank them all for their support and everything that you guys do. But if you guys have ever wanted to get into the stock market or any form of investing, feel free to browse around my YouTube channel. We upload a series of daily videos talking about how to get started and stuff like that. The helpful video playlist will be the best for you. And then if you're just getting started, feel free to check out Brad. He's our OTC stock group leader. So if you've ever wanted to get into the OTC stock market, as well as Vin, he's the one that leads the cryptocurrency group chat. So if you ever want to invest in Bitcoin or anything of that sort, feel free to stay connected. And then this is our Facebook group. We have like 58,000 here, and then we have our private group chat, which hosts a couple thousand people there as well. So thank you guys again for everything it is that you guys do. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. If you guys want to order your Tech Buds merch, it's down in the description. I hope you guys all have an amazing day, and I hope that you guys prepare for this 2018 tax season. So take it easy, team.